Hey guys, welcome back to another update on Typhoon Yagi and Tropical Depression 13W in the Western Pacific. Typhoon Yagi is now rapidly intensifying, as I was telling you in the last video 2 days ago. It's now exited the Philippines, and by its eye, you can really see it's starting to really rapidly intensify. It's starting to They've upped the peak from 115 knots to 120 knots. 120 knots is around about 130 miles an hour, but they do want this storm to make landfall between 115 knots. Between a low range category 4 to a high end category 3 should be making landfall on Hainan Island. Not really a difference. 125 miles an hour, 130 miles an hour, not really difference. It's just a 5 mile an hour difference, really. But they have moved it north than the cone, because if you look 2 days ago, the cone was further south this way. Let me show you. The cone was further south this way, taking it over the Hainan Island, and then actually taking it over here, making landfall over here. But they moved further north a little bit, like what the GFS, like what the icon's showing, the Chinese models, and the American model. But the European model is still slightly south and still slightly weak as well. As I was telling you about the wind shear over here, it's not really a problem anymore. That's backed off towards the north over here. So you've got moist air, you've got low wind shear, very warm sea surface temperatures. I'll show you the SSTs in a minute. But it's literally 100 miles off the coast of Hong Kong at that point, so you guys probably will get some rainfall from this system in Hong Kong. Not much, about, I'll say 56 millimeters, which I think in inches is about 20 to 30 inches of rainfall. So you guys could get that much rain. In Hainan Island, it's mainly going to be the wind impact than rain, but it's going to be wind and storm surge over China. Now it could move south and make landfall near Hakapur or whatever that name is in Hainan Island, but the code is to go north of Hainan Island and hit just the North Island of Hainan Island, and it's meant to be moving towards Hanoi in Vietnam, make it as a 175 mile an hour storm, which is probably about 80 miles, probably about 80 miles an hour. About 80 miles an hour to 85 miles an hour near Vietnam. And then obviously it's going to be moving into Vietnam, weakening to a tropical depression. Well, no, weakening to a tropical storm, and then should be dying off by the 9th of September. So in a couple of days, this system should be dying off in the next 100 hours. Now, whether remnants will move back towards India, or whether remnants will probably move over into the Alps, into the Himalayas, not sure yet. But we do have about the areas of interest in the Atlantic. They've downgraded them all. The NHC has downgraded them. This system has been significantly downgraded from a 50% chance to a 30% chance. This system has been downgraded. This one has been downgraded as well. But they've upgraded this one, the Cabo Verde Islands, to a 20% chance in the next 2 days. So they do indicate this one could develop before these two. and it's usually we don't usually see this less activity in the Atlantic at this time of year. If you compare it to last year, we had the Inem storm in August last year. Oh yeah, most of the storms stayed off this way. Like came off the coast of Africa, moved moved west northwest towards Bermuda. But that was because the high pressure system is back over this way. This year it should be over this way, which should push them towards the Caribbean, which they're not really. They're pushing them out towards the open ocean because the high pressure system is back where it was this time last year. So if you do get like a very powerful hurricane sometime in this month in the MDR, it might move up further towards the north. It depends if it's weak. If it's a tropical storm still, it'll probably move towards the Caribbean, and then if it moves in the Caribbean and starts to rapidly intensify, then you guys in Florida will have to pay attention. But this system's not really meant to be doing as much as I'll show you on the GFS. The GFS doesn't really want... They want a little weak system probably out of this system, but they do want some subtropical development up here sometime next week, which could form or develop depending on the conditions. There's nothing active in the Eastern Pacific, so there's no point looking at the East Pac or the Central Pacific. There's no point looking at the Central Pacific either. The West Pac, though, West Pac definitely is going to be active in the next few days. This is the forecast model runs for the Atlantic, and show you the Atlantic now. I'll show you the Western Pacific and then the East Pac afterwards. I'll show you the SSTs for all the basins. So basically, you've got the areas of interest here. You've got that area of interest. You've got the one near the Cabo Verde Islands, and you've got this one here. And you see about the high pressure. It's further off towards the east, which means it's allowing other systems like this system and that system to move towards the north up here. But if you keep watching, there is some signs of there is some rotation over here. Now that's off a frontal boundary. Don't think that would form, but if you have a look, there is some development that does try and forming by the 4th. There is some rotation in the Gulf, but that's not really going to do anything. But the storm that is meant to be the system that should have been formed by now. It should have been a hurricane here by now, as last week the GFS wanted it to be a major hurricane over here, but they've really backed off on that, and I thought that should not be the major, but there it is. It might be a storm like Chris. Weakens, and then you got something here in the basin. If you watch back on September 11th, September 10th, you got a little system here. Now this is probably going to be moving north because of the high pressure system, but it becomes a category 2, category 3 storm, and then moves out towards the open ocean by the 20th, moves towards the Azores. So you're taking some kind of a weird track like this. We have seen that track before. We've seen it in 1997. But yeah, that's like 10 days. That's like 16 days out from now. So that's do take this with a grain of salt. because you know what the GFS is like this year. They said they wanted a major hurricane by now in the Caribbean, but they didn't. So let me show you Yagi on the GFS. Last night the GFS wanted a Category 5 out of this system, which is crazy because this is 13W by the way. Could try and become a brief tropical storm and then obviously weakens as it heads towards Japan. But that's not what we wanted. We want Yagi. There we go. So right now the GFS is indicating that it is 968 millibars, which is a Category 2 right now, as the GFS is indicating. You can see by tonight, 18 Zulu, it'll be 963, so it drops from 968 to 963. That's a 4 millibar drop. And it starts really exploding, 932 millibars by Friday. That's borderline. That's like moderate Category 4 to strong Category 4. Then it does weaken, so it does get down to 930 millibars. So that's like Super Typhoon Stelis. And then it weakens to 937 millibars as it makes landfall, and then it moves in towards Vietnam as probably a high-end Category 1, low-end Category 2, and then obviously it moves towards Vietnam and dies off. That's Yagi. Now show you the satellite imagery of Yagi, because Yagi looks very impressive on satellite imagery. Its eye was popping out earlier on this morning. It has closed up a little bit now, but I think it is trying to open back up again on the latest frames. Yes, it's opening back up again. You can see the minus 85 degree cloud tops really wrapping around this storm, which indicates that's rapidly intensifying, and you can really see the structure has changed since the last time I done the update on Yagi. Because if you looked, this north side was not really filled in. You had the southern convection and you had the outer bands that are around here. Now it's filled back in and it's really rapidly intensifying, so it depends how fast this intensifies. If this explodes in the next 26 to 30 in the next 24 to 36 hours, we could have a Category 4 in our hands. Now I'm not trying to scare people, but I don't think the only thing that's stopping this storm is itself. If it goes through an narwhal replacement cycle, that's it. Nothing's really going to be stopping this storm. There's no wind shear, no dry air whatsoever. The wind shear may pick up as it heads towards Vietnam, but as it makes landfall in China, there's nothing really to stop this storm. So that's what it looks like on IR, and it looks really good right now. I'll show you the visible high res, but it's nighttime, so I'll show you the other one instead. This is probably a Category 2 right now, high-end Cat 2. Probably, high-end Cat 2 and low-end Cat 3 right now, I think this is. Because last night it was, yesterday morning, this was 40 miles an hour. It went to 80 miles an hour last night, so then it got from that's an 80 mile an hour increase in the space of 12 hours, and then went from 80 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in the space of 6 hours. So the sun was really intensifying. You can see that massive circle in the middle, which is the eye. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the update. It's longer than what I planned, but didn't matter. Stay tuned for another update, probably tomorrow, I guess, or later on today. If Yagi if Yagi becomes a cat or high in Cat 3 today, I will do another update. If not, now the update will be out tomorrow. But yeah, stay safe from Yagi in China, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Peace.